Hey guys, welcome to the Centre Bounce. In today's video, we're going over how my team went this week, our final trades, and the captaincy options. Stay tuned. Joe, I know I said it in a community post a few days ago, but yeah, work's just been kicking my butt recently, and obviously I missed out on the timeline of how did my team go this week. I promise, guys who are watching, it won't happen again. Sunday night, Big J's uploading everything back to normal. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, doing well. As you can see, I got my full retro Bombers kit out, mate. It's always good when we get a win, especially over those freaking dogs as well. Cop that Bevo, you sack of potatoes. So hopefully cop the sack of potatoes on the way out as well. So yeah, no, doing really well. And this is going to be a different sort of video. So looking forward to getting it done. And so happy with all the people that interacted and gave me some shit over my little parody of lady, so. But you're more than welcome to join us every now and then. More than happy to have that engagement. It was good fun.
Yeah, no, definitely. A win's a win, right? I mean, you'll take that every day of the week. And yeah, worked out really well for you guys. I was very, very happy. And, always nice to have a happy co-host than someone who's not happy. It's like, oh, we lost again, whatever. I mean, that's my job.
I could be unhappy. I have a lot to be unhappy about. With my team. But look, we're gonna look at it. We're gonna look at it from the positive lens, and that is from the winning side. Always glass half full here at the Centre Bounce.
Oh, 100%. And as we say that, if we come on and we have a look at how my team went this week. Big J scored 2009. I was trying to work out what hits came out in 2009. Where were you in 2009, Joe?
Where was I?
Yeah. Are you still in high school 2009?
In 2009, all I can tell you is that Anzac Day was the greatest single game I've ever been to in my life. We were so close to leaving with only 5 minutes to go in that last quarter. Looked like it was done. We were starting to actually walk out, but then we got a goal back and we thought, you know what, stuff it. Let's just stay. And thank God we did, because that Zaharakis goal, till now, the memories, the screams, the rain and the wind, I get chills. So 2009, Zaharakis, baby, Anzac Day.
Mate, as long as you've got good memories, I think I just finished year 12 and trying to work out what I'm doing with myself. But what I don't need to work out is my score. Harley Reid saved me, but I know Elliot Yeo kind of gifted a lot of people. I look at this and I'm like, trade's not too bad, but into the top 5%, the team value is probably one of the big things to look at. You guys who are watching really need to start jumping up in your team value. If you don't have like 12 million already team value, hopefully you've got some money in the bank, which means that, you can add on some team value because, we need to really start upgrading at the moment and we might just not get the players that we want.
Correct.
So let's check out the team. We'll do how my team went this week and then what trades I'm doing for this week as well. So only 28 trades left, one boost to go. The boost is going this week, boys and girls. Unfortunately, trading James Jordan in and out didn't work out for me. So there goes 2 boosts, but it is what it is. Sorry, Velo. If we have a look at the team, so Ryan, fantastic scorer for us. Harry Sheasel, gone bonkers. Whitfield, nice to have a 109 instead of the 87 from last week. Zach Williams, I know, very happy with the 92. And a lot of people had Massimo on that position as well. So that's someone who I didn't have, which kind of sucks. But yeah, Howe's 62 and then Closey 124, who I think is going to end up saving a lot of people's seasons because I don't think he's going to be a primo. But next week, if he doesn't drop like an absolute stinker, mate, he's going to make us a lot of money. So very, very happy there. Obviously, Dacos didn't play and I got Reid on the bench. Midfield is where I lost a lot of points this week. So Bont 73, Tom Green 72. And it's really annoying because a lot of people didn't have Gorn captain. I know Joe did not have Gorn captain. And some people went Bont vice captain or captain. Some people went Tom Green, similar position as well. So not great. Zach Butters, big score. Jack Steele, big score for us as well. So very, very happy with the Steele trade in this week. And then Nick Martin. So it's unfortunate that I did get Nick Martin in last week because the player that I traded out, Massimo, scored me a 94 or scored Joe a 94. So I spent the trade and like 200K for 6 points. It kind of sucks, but that's all right. You've got DPP next week, which would be nice. Sanders and McKercher are ones who I'm really worried about. They've plateaued in their cash gen now, and obviously McKercher has gone backwards, and that 6 is going to stay in his in his 3-round averages for a long time. There's a reason why I'm potentially doing some trades this week. Oh, definitely doing some trades. So Riley Sanders, mate, don't sign the contract next year. Come to North Melbourne. We'll look after you. Finally, we'll get a player in after his first year instead of getting a player out. Bevo's a bit of a douchebag, and then the Dogs lost, so stuff you. Jeremy Sharp, 54, wasn't great, but if you have a look at his break-even, it's still -7, so he really needs to have a bounce-back game. He's got to go from the 124 to, if he had another 100 score, he's flying, but what is he at the moment?
It could be this week against West Coast. It could be this week.
Could be this week. So 304. Ideally, we get him to 400K. I don't think it's going to happen. But if he gets to 350K, it's one of these guys on the bench plus Jeremy Sharp primo time. So very, very happy there. We talked about McKercher. Roberts comes back. He potentially was in my trades for this week. But, 13 break even. Going to make us a lot of money still. So, and I think he's going to end up being a player on field for me this week, which would be cool. Jack Carroll has to go. I think Sam Walsh coming back has just negated him. And yes, Carlton does have a few injuries in the back line, but they are in the back line. They're not in the midfield. It's not like Walsh got injured and then Carroll comes back and he's now playing the same role. That 26 is not great. And then Darcy Wilson. So very, very happy I've got Darcy Wilson. I did tell everyone, hey, look, he's going to bounce back. There's 61 once the 28 comes out of his rotation, if we just have a quick look. Cool. So this is the last week that 25 is in his rotation. So if he comes out and scores another 60 or a 70, Blammo, he's going to jump up in price even further. So very, very happy I kept him on field. The DPP is nice as well. Let's flip that around. And obviously, Max Gorn, 138. Took that as the vice captain option. Grundy, that's fine. Flanders, 116. So if you don't have Flanders, you can still jump on him. He's, jumped up in a bit of money, but he's still very gettable. Tom Powell, very, very happy with the 98. It did put up his break even. So it did put up his average, which is what I was looking for. Because potentially, Joe, I know we spoke about it last week, could have been offload Tom Powell time, unfortunately, just because that 70, and I think the week before he scored a 65 or something and wasn't looking great. But now he's kind of going into primo territory at the moment and should get to 500K. So decent enough trading, right?
Yeah, no complaints. Obviously, we were hoping that he would be a keeper, but if he wasn't, then at least he could make us some money. And pretty sure he has made us already some decent coin. He's already gone up 112.8K. So even if the pick wasn't to be a keeper, he's at least made us his money. And so it's a win-win regardless.
Yeah. Harley Reid, 108. So I know a few people traded him out. Supercoach God. You're not that. I don't know what's happened there. Harley Reid, 108, has really accelerated his cash gen and made him a fieldable option, I think, for a while, which is kind of what we want. If he's going to be 350K next week, this kid could get to 400K, Joe. Like, he could legitimately, not a forward option, but him plus like a crappy rookie could end up being a keeper on field, which would be great. Dempsey,
he's 56. Not playing Richmond every week, though.
That's true. That's true, but he's been getting better every week, which is the big thing for me. Like, obviously, Richmond's in the right time. That keeps that linear progression going. But, yeah, it's nice. Dempsey, 56, is not great. He's kind of plateaued his cash gen a little bit at the moment. 33 break even. Yes, he'll go up by 20K hopefully this week, but he needs to have one of those 100 games. I would prefer to keep him a little bit longer than potentially what I am. In a similar situation is Cadman, who is 20K cheaper, and I know yourself potentially and a few other people have started to jump off. I really hope he has a bounce back game. I know there's 100 in him somewhere, and Blammo, like, going to jump up another 50 odd K from doing that. So please, Cadman, please give us a crappy defense. Maybe not against Carlton, but who are you guys playing round 7? Let's have a look. Cadman versus Brisbane, maybe not so much. Who's round 8? Sydney. Okay, potentially there's something.
Oh no! Big J could be could be live seeing why I'm trading Cadman out this week.
maybe we'll see. I'm happy to keep the money there. I've got better players to get rid of, unfortunately. Sam Darcy, very, very good. Named on field, fantastic player. Averaging basically himself. If you don't have Darcy, I think you're in a lot of trouble, and looks to be jumping up probably 50k again. So he could end up being that 400k mark, which is what we want. A lot of people have limited cash gen on the bench, so making sure that you have these players. Harley Reid, 400k. Darcy, 400k. Means that it's really one guy here, primo. And in our forward lines with plays being so shit, that's all we need. Like, all we need is that. Right now, I could probably wait for a Howes plus someone, and then midfield primo, potentially, someone who's dropped down in price. So, how would it be if we sideways Harley Reid to Oliver? Imagine if I could say that at the start of the season. This year, you're going to have the potential to go Harley Reid to Oliver.
Unbelievable.
You would do that, right?
Unbelievable.
One trade. Harley Reid to Oliver. One trade. So, you'd be very happy. So what I'm going to do is optimize, obviously. So players on field, all that kind of stuff. This week, we're going to bolster the midfield. So there's a lot of players around here who are probably getting close to their price amount. And there's a lot of players around here that we really need to start to look to offload. Guys who are going to, they're names, but maybe they're not going to keep making money for us. I know a lot of people are going to say Sanders maybe keep and McKercher maybe keep, but he's going to go down in price again. And I don't think I can really handle that. Right now, we need the upgrades. I'm not prepared to wait for McKercher to drop down to 250k. And then in 5 weeks, he's going to be more expensive again. I just need the money. So this week, McKercher out, Sanders out, and Carroll out for me. Flanders goes to the midfield. And we are going to bring in Matt Rowell. Now, I know Joe and I have talked a little bit off air about Matt Rowell and everything like that, but right now he's the highest averaging, let's just quickly check, highest averaging midfielder, effectively. Heaney's obviously a forward. Sam Walsh has played one game. I don't think he's going to go to 166 average, but if it does, mate, get in my team. But yeah, Matt Rowell's in there, contested beast, does a lot of stuff, just looks really good. So he's in my side. Potentially I could have gone to Sarong, but I'm hoping he gets a bit of a tag at the moment. And if we check out his break even, it's 155. So he's going to drop in some price. If I can get Sarong at 600k, I'll be very, very happy. So no Sarong for me this week. So Matt Rowell's in. Big J is going to go similar, I think, for a lot of people in grab Will Graham. And then in our forward line, it was really interesting. I've spoken a lot off air and on air as well about Comben. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. But in terms of Supercoach, I need to do better. That 227k is 100k more expensive than the player I'm going to bring in, who hopefully has comparable scoring. We'll wait and see. But should be best 22 for a little while. And that is Biggie Nguyen. So that's who I'm going to bring into my team. The big thing between Comben and Ewan is obviously the scoring, but Comben effectively right now, my original plans going into this week was Sexton out into Comben. And that would have cost me 40k in the trade, plus 100k effectively for the upgrade. So I needed to get Comben at 400k. And I just don't think it's viable. If you watch Godfather's video this week, he basically said, hey, look, it's great to get in guys like Comben, but that 100k means a lot, Joe.
It is a lot of money.
That's the difference between, cool, this week I brought William Drew in. Maybe not William Drew is not the good choice. Who's someone crappy that this week I brought Nick Blakey in or Luke Ryan? That's the difference in your 100k. So I know which one most people would want to bring in. So that's my trades at the moment. And when I press big optimize again, yep. So projected score 2146. If I can get close to that, I'm very happy. Big J needs to jump up in the rankings. I don't think I'll go Rowell vice captain, but we'll wait and see for the captaincy part. Joe, hit us up with your team.
Yes, so my team, you guys might be surprised, but this week my trades have not ventured very far away from what my team review video that released on the Sunday evening. As you can see, we're the blue, as I even forecasted back in my Sunday review video, that Jack Steele is in, and he still has the vice captaincy on him. As I'm not sure if I had Heaney as the captain or Sarong as the captain, but I'm pretty sure what I did on Sunday has remained, and that is a very rare thing. But because to me,
Mhm.
I think my trades are very clear to me this week. I think Carroll, as Big J mentioned, probably in the, I suppose, the barrel, because of his lack of time on ground. He was the sub.
Get in
Obviously,
the bin.
get in the bin. Very nice. So yeah, Carroll has done great things for me for his price. He's made me his cash, and his cash generation has stalled. So for me, I think Carroll can go. McKercher, Big J's already mentioned, this 6 is really going to hurt him. He's going to go down before he goes back up again. And I'd much rather just use his cash now to continue my upgrading so that I can try and get a full primo team done sooner rather than later. And then Cadman's going out. We sort of saw what his run is like over the next 3 weeks, and I don't think he has a great run. He's made me his cash. He's up to 270k. Thank you very much, kind sir. I'm very pleased for you. Hopefully your development and your career goes absolutely swimmingly from here, because thank you for the cash. And I'm going to go early on Biggie. I think with Callan Dawson out for 2 to 3 weeks, will obviously be really good for Biggie. Can continue to play and he
It's
looked
his
really good
spot
on the
to lose.
weekend. Sorry?
Yeah, it's his spot to lose, basically.
Correct.
He would need to have a real stinker to get kicked out
Yeah.
of the team right now.
And I believe he is a better player than Pink, which means that it really is his spot to lose in the team. He's a 123k forward, and those are really, really important. So, and I'm getting, of course, the man of steel himself, Jack Steele. He's been torching me for not owning all week, all season, all year, all freaking my whole life. And so I need to get this guy in. It was a mistake going for McKurt, going for Lockie Whitfield a couple of weeks ago. Really should have gone. Stuff you, Howes. Why'd you have to score so shit on the bench? I hate you, mate. But yeah. So Steele is in, and I think it is a fair price to pay considering the sort of output that he's been giving us. He's averaging 130 for the season. It's unlikely that this sort of, you'd imagine that this sort of average is unlikely to continue, but he's got the Dogs this week, and there's no liver, which is absolutely incredible, and his break even is down to 70. So for me, I don't want to miss out on any more of his ridiculous scoring to come. It's not like I'm paying 650 or 660k for him. He's still in the low 600, 624. So I think it's a fine one, and I really think he is a vice captain option. And I'm going with Sarong for a strong bounce back game against the Eagles. So fingers crossed that he can give me a nice big score there. English is playing against Marshall this week, which is pretty ridiculous. But yeah, Rory Lobb's been named, and I don't know. Stuff you, Bevo, you dog. I hate you. I swear to God, man. Bevo is the freaking bane of my existence, man. I don't know if Bevo's subscribed to this channel. If you are, stuff you. And thank you so much for watching my videos and doing all you can to sabotage me. I really appreciate it, bro. Really do. So that's my team. It's crazy that I've got Klahisi on the field at D6 over Zach Williams, but I just wanted to see how Zach Williams goes on the Saturday afternoon, and if he pops off, then we can probably put Hoare on for a Massimo. If he scores pretty badly in this game for whatever reason, I think he should score well without Sard. More ball through him, so potentially Zach Williams is going to be on the field and over the likes of Massimo, but Massimo's got North Melbourne, so maybe it's closely that goes. So maybe Klahisi sits on the bench, which is crazy considering that he's averaging 116. So I've got too many good problems in my backline now all of a sudden.
I know, right? Same for a lot of people at the moment.
Actually.
Oh, here we go. Here we go, boys and girls. Final, hearing it live. What are we doing, Joe?
Yeah. The amazing thing is Graham has DPP. So I could, and just in case Sanders is the sub.
Yep.
I can.
You got a bit of a swing there, Joe. You can do some early stuff as well, and you got the Buku Kama swing heading up too in the forward line. So maximize that best 18, which is really going to help because if Sanders is the sub again, Bevo's in a bit of trouble. Tell you what.
Right, if he's the sub again, then honestly, RIP. RIP. Rest in pepperoni. But if Sanders isn't the sub, then unfortunately I have no way to loop him in this week on the bench. But still, I believe in Matty Roberts as a defensive as a rookie. He's an absolute gun. So I believe in him, and then I'm not going to field Sanders over any of these premiums. So there we go. So this is what the team looks like going into the week. Hope you guys like it. I'm pretty happy with having 5 Uber Primo mids, 5 of the top 8, I think, midfielders, which is pretty damn good. Hopefully next week I will use my last boost in order to get a 6th Uber Primo midfielder, and then then it'll all be 1 down, 1 up because we'll be out of boosts together, Big J.
I know it's going to be interesting to see how we navigate. I think the next few weeks, but guys, get these guys in. You really got to try and make sure that you grab I mean, we'll talk about it in the break-evens video coming up next, but yeah, you've really got to try and make sure that you're getting these players in, you're getting the guys at the cheaper prices, and take advantage of our cash gen and the guys who are going to go up and down in price at the moment as well, because if you don't, it's really going to hurt.
Yep, exactly. So that's the team, guys, going in. We'll now look at our captaincy options.
I have a question for you in your midfield at the moment. Let's say Sanders does go big. Who are you going to loophole him with?
I can't. There's no loophole option available for me. But you wouldn't field? Would you field a Sanders over a Roberts or a Flanders or a Dacos?
Yeah, probably not.
So, this is just the pecking order at the moment, unless we trust Sanders, for example, over a Williams and a Massimo or a Clahisi. You wouldn't trust those either. So he's the bottom of the barrel when it comes to these scorers. And thankfully, the team is in a situation where I can be picky enough where I can even push Sanders onto the bench and hopefully maximize my best 18 scores on the field. I'm even looping between Karmas and Biggie here in the situation with Sexton there. So yeah, doing all I can to really get the best possible score in this best 18 round. And even if he doesn't perform well, then at least we can kick him out of the team next week and then use his money, because I don't have much left. The stars have aligned and I've managed to sneak Jack Steele in for 3 rookies. So hopefully next week we'll get presented with maybe a Kane McAuliffe coming off his bubble. Might be a decent downgrade option, but that's for next week. Yeah, or Drury, but yeah. So we now move to the next segment, which is the captaincy options, as well as potentially talking about our tips.
Yep.
So we start off with Thursday.
It's a real interesting one this Thursday. I think this week, and we've said it every week, right? It didn't really work out for us last week. But I think this week, Joe, is one of the weeks where a Thursday captaincy option is actually pretty viable, right? So if we have a look at this, maybe we'll go over the team sheets tomorrow, you reckon? Or we'll just smash them now? Let's smash them now. Sam Darcy in the forward line, which is great. I'm not sure where's Lob named, or is Lob just named? Where is Lob named?
Full forward.
Ooh. So they're playing English and Lob and Darcy. Mate, Bevo's off his rocker, Joe. Bevo's lost his mind.
No, it's because Jamar is out for some personal reason.
But still, like, it's a bit crazy. This game, I think Steele is definitely an option. Some people will go Bont, but I just don't trust his scoring after the last couple of weeks. Yes, there's no Libba. He's probably going to bounce back, but it's not great. And I probably wouldn't trust English at the moment either. There is a bit of Sam Darcy and potentially Rory Lobb problems in there as well. So, yeah, nice to see Jack McRae named on field, though. Would you pick Steele this week?
Yeah. I'm going Steele VC.
What are you expecting from a Steele this week is kind of my question. You expecting a big score, or you kind of maybe like a 120? I mean, he's been popping out 140s, which has been fantastic. But personally, I just don't know if it's sustainable, right?
Well, of course it's not sustainable, but I mean, it's against a tough midfield in the Giants, he scored a 143, which is pretty impressive. True. They lost to us in the midfield, and he still scored a 126. And we don't really have any big contested balls either. I mean, we had Setterfield there, but I mean, you wouldn't consider Setterfield to be a contested beast, would you? So,
No.
so he's had some decent. So he's yeah, it is what it is. He's still the goat. He's still a set of goat. But I honestly I think he's in such ripping hot form. He's
Yep.
finding the pill at will, and he's also racking up the tackles as well. So
Mhm.
I think he's got the perfect game to go head to head with these guys. And obviously English isn't the best hit out ruckman either, so it could be an opportunity for Marshall to potentially get an edge and get some more hitouts this week. And it's all going to go one way. It's all going to go to Steele. There's no one else in that midfield that's really going to be taking away from him. Maybe a Winhager, but I mean, I don't think so. I think maybe Ross takes a leaf out of what Brad Scott did against the Bulldogs last week, and maybe might give Winhager the role of going head to head with Marcus,
Yep.
just to keep him busy, like what we did with Sammy Durham. We had Sammy Durham go head to head with Bond, so that could be an option that Ross Lyon implements, and that just means more ball for Steele. So I think Steele is in for a big one. And watch, now that I've traded him in, he's going to go 55. I'm so
I
sorry,
hope
guys.
not. I hope not. Sorry, Joe. I hope not. But
So
we'll
yes,
wait and see. Yeah.
I'm leading doggies for this one. I'm
Okay.
leading Saints for this one. I mean,
Easy. Yeah, so Jack Steele, potentially, I wouldn't pick any of the Dogs players. Heading down to the Friday game. And I've picked your boys at Adelaide Oval. It's really nice to see. Peter Wright's not back, is he, this week, or is he back next week?
no,
Next week.
he's missing. How many games is he missing?
You
5?
said miss four games.
No, he's missing 5. I'm pretty sure.
No, I thought he only got 4.
We got 4. Oh, if that's the
Mhm.
case, then we're now round 6. 1, 2, 3. This is his 4th game that he's missing.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, I picked your boys. I think they're going to do really well. I probably wouldn't pick anyone captaincy-wise. There's always a Zach Merritt sneaky pick, but with our captaincy and vice captains this week, you've just got to pick someone who's really obvious. So yes, Joe's pulled up the stats. Love some good stats, but yeah, I wouldn't do it per se. If you've got a locked-in guaranteed captain, maybe, but yeah, for me, it's a no. Who have you got? You're picking your boys this week?
I was going to tip Adelaide, but I have changed my mind, which is pretty stupid potentially, but I am backing my boys in this week.
Mhm.
For the one reason being that I think Mitch Hinge is going to be out for Adelaide. And
Cool.
if Hinge is out, I think Hinge is one of their best players, one of their best defenders as well. So I think if Hinge is out of the team, then that means that our forward line has greater potential to perform. And that's what we need. We need an opportunity for our forward line. They're going to be without Crouch. So potentially our midfield can match up against them. And with a weaker defense, hopefully that means that we can capitalize. So I'm going for an upset here. I know Sportsbet has got the Crows as favorites, but I'm going to back us in. It's stupid. We always win when I tip against us. I should probably tip the Crows then, but I'm going to back in the boys. I'm wearing the gear today. We're going to go Dons.
Yeah, nice. I picked them too. Would you go Merritt vice captain?
Bro, I think you can't go wrong with a Merritt. I think the guy is he's just performing so well. He's on another level. They really need to put attention into him. They need to send like a Sam Berry or someone to stand next to Merritt, because he's by far and away our best player. And so far, no one's been giving him any attention, and he's almost got us over the line in every last quarter. So I think Nix would be kind of crazy if he doesn't have a run with player.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I mean, pressure's on with them playing at home, right? So
Correct.
it's a bit of a tough one. Zach Merritt, definitely. Next up, Collingwood versus Port Adelaide. Now, I've actually tipped Collingwood here. I think they play really well at home. I'm not sure about Port. I think Port's a very tough team, and it will be a close game. But Collingwood's my pick. I haven't picked the Zach Butters in case for captaincy score, but it's going to be a rough one, I think. It's one of those games, I think it's tough to predict, because at the moment it really feels like Zach Butters goes big 1 week. Rosie goes big 1 week. Horn Francis will go big 1 week. Ollie Wines never goes big. That's why I traded him out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a tough one to predict, and you'd almost pick a better vice captain. You want to lock in someone who you know is actually going to be set for a good score. So
Yeah, it's hard to go with like a Nick Dacos type, for example. I know Nick Dacos torched them last year, but as you can see, and as we've mentioned a lot of times on the channel, Port Adelaide are really good at restricting halfbackers, and that's part of the reason why it was so impressive of Nick Martin, the fact that he went so big against them, despite them being so restrictive. So I don't know. It's the stats say you don't go with Dacos, but history, Nick Dacos went bananas and they didn't have any chance to go with him. Plus, at the MCG, Nick Dacos is a different specimen as well. I'm also leaning towards Collingwood in this game. Try and get it done for Murphy, who has announced his retirement. Congratulations, Murphy, Premiership player. So yeah, I'm going to lean with them. I think if there's anyone that's going to go crazy, I mean, the inside mids are the ones that are performing really well, and it could be a Zach Butters type this week to go bananas. As a VC though, I wouldn't put the C on it.
No, definitely not. And I think that's what's really burnt a lot of people at the moment is going for these C options. When you know, like maybe Zach Butters is going to have a down game, things like that, you want to lock in someone who's almost set in stone for the position, right? Captaincy option, maybe it's a ruckman or things like that. Definitely Collingwood for me. Moving down the next list, I have picked Carlton.
Yep.
GWS is a very good team, but Sam Taylor's out this week. And if Sam Taylor was playing, I probably would pick Giants. So one of them, Curnow or Mackay, are going to go massive. Hopefully it's not Harry Mackay because it sucks because I should have had him at some point. But we don't talk about that, Joe. It's happened. We move on. Hopefully GWS can actually find something to cover that position. I don't trust these stats sometimes. You say that, and then they're top of the ladder. They give up all these points to forwards, but they're top of the ladder. So, yeah, I don't know.
But no one owns a Carlton ruck, so that's fine. And no one owns Briggs, so that's also fine. These are fantasy numbers, guys. This is not really Supercoach. It is fantasy, so you obviously take these with a grain of salt. But it's not a bad indicator of how things go. For me, I'm also going to go with Carlton. It's over here. It's not over there. Obviously, Sam Taylor's a big out. I think Cogs is also a pretty big out as well. So this is probably going to test the Giants. I know Carlton are going to be without Sard and without someone else in that back line, but I think outside of the big boy in Toby Grant in Hogan, I think they can cover those outs.
Yeah, no, I think so as well. It really does seem like they're kind of game winners. So it makes it a bit tough, I think, for them. Losing those guys in the middle. I wouldn't even go and vice captain or captain at Tom Green. I think he's going to get a bit of a Hewitt attention and things like that. And yeah, tough game for GWS. Good game for Carlton,
though. I'm gonna say this though, an asterisk. If Shitternet is named for Carlton, I change my tip to the Giants.
Okay, fair enough.
If it's Carlton rocking the Harry Mackay as R2 to the Tom DeConning, then I'm going to lean Carlton. But if Carlton are going big and they're going to name Shitternet like they did last week, then I'm tipping the Giants.
Okay, cool. That's easy.
Obviously, we'll find out tomorrow with the team sheet and stuff. Brisbane hosting the Cats at the Gabba. And just by virtue of the fact that it's at the Gabba, I'm going to... And Brisbane have been playing very well. Don't let that 10th on the ladder.
So
yeah, exactly. So don't let that 10th on the ladder number fool you. I thought they were cooked a couple of weeks ago, but they've turned it around and they've looked unreal. And I think these guys are top 4 in both offense and defense when it comes to transition. And when it comes to turnover, I think. So they are in the top 4 for defending scores from their turnovers. And they're also +4 in the other way. So I think Brisbane are absolutely dominating. Plus, at the Gabba, I know the Geelong Cats haven't put a foot wrong, but I'm willing to go with Brisbane with the home ground advantage for this one.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's who I picked as well. I just think they're too good. It's going to be a tough game. Should be a good watch, but yeah, they're my pick this week. Heading down to West Coast Frio. Now, I almost want to say Luke Ryan is going to be a fantastic run. If you've got Luke Ryan and a vice captaincy, it's going to be fun, boys. I don't think the ball's going to be in Frio's backline too much, but West Coast and kicking goals maybe isn't the best thing. So there is a bit of everyone gives up points, which is the tough bit. I know Jesse from True Footy, big fan of the show and things like that. Potentially, they end up scoring better. But yeah, West Coast is not my pick this week.
A lot's placed on Yo's shoulders in that midfield. Yo and Harley, of course, and Tim Kelly, who has been in great form. So this trio going up against the trio of Sarong, Young, Fife, Brayshaw, plus Sean Darcy, I think is back this week. Now he might be eased into the game, but Sean Darcy does make Fremantle a better team. There's no doubt about it. Also enables Luke Jackson to push forward. I know you don't want to hear about it, guys, from a Supercoach perspective, but you're just going to have to accept that you're going to see more forward time out of a Luke Jackson to try and spread this West Coast Eagles forward line a bit thinner. So I'm going to lean with Fremantle. And I know, according to this, West Coast are pretty good against inside mids, but I'm still going to lean and trust in a Caleb Sarong. He just scores so well, and he's a great tackler, and he's going to tackle. If Yo gets the ball, he's going to tackle Yo, and he's not going to let go. Plus, he's going to have Sean Darcy tackle.
Because you own Sarong and I don't own Sarong, and I want Sarong to drop in points this week, Joe.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
and Sean Darcy hitting the ball down to him, I think will also help him with his contested possessions game. So I'm leaning Freo.
Yeah, no, I have picked Freo, but I really hope that West Coast can negate a little bit of their mids. Adam Simpson's kind of worked something out with the team at the moment, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm hoping I'll be able to get Sarong a lot cheaper over the next couple of weeks. So picked Freo, Luke Ryan, potential captaincy option. I don't know if Elliot Yo is, but he's going to go head-to-head with this really strong midfield. So it should be a good game. Really nice game over in the West. I think last year, when West Coast were getting smashed, it's a bit of a slaughter. But West Coast have come into form a little bit. So, it'd be a good watch.
You can go either one of two ways for West Coast. Either they continue to build on that good form that they showed the last 2 weeks, or they get ahead of themselves and they are really happy with the fact that they won against Richmond and won in such emphatic form that they dropped their bundle. So really, it can only go one of those two ways. It was
their grand final last week, Joe. It's only round 5.
Potentially, but they smashed them. They smashed them, and they probably feel very good about themselves.
Yeah, they did. I mean, I would feel pretty good about ourselves too if that happened with North Melbourne. So, yeah, it is what it is. Sorry, Velo. But we'll just wait and see, really.
Why apologize to Velo for?
Sorry, no, Velo. He said in our live stream comments, he was like, "Oh, every time you say it is what it is, you owe me some
$5."
Like, $5. I'm like, nah, not going to happen, mate. So, yeah, it's just a bit of fun. Heading over to the Sunday games. Now, the Godfather, I'm going to say Heaney, the Godfather, every week, 140 plus. I don't think it's going to happen this week, but he is playing probably the toughest midfield that he's played so far. And yeah, going to be a real test to see what it's like. It's going to be a case of glad I've got Heaney, glad I brought in Heaney, because I know a few people have done that this week, or you've got Heaney, you scored a 60, sucked in, and I'm going to get him cheap later on. So Heaney captain could do very well. On the other side, Matt Rao hopefully goes massive because I just brought him in my team. And yeah, it's going to be a good game over at the SCG. That's all I can say. Wits versus Grundy as well, which should be a good matchup.
Grundy's shit. Grundy's washed.
I've got him in my side, Joe. Don't jinx him too much.
Stuff him. Traded him out. Good riddance. I'm going to go with the Swans in this one. If this was an evening game, I'd be more likely to lean towards the Suns. But because it's going to be a day game, and I'm pretty sure I checked the weather before. Last I checked, it is a bright, sunny day, which to me means it's going to be a lot more on the outside, which to me just means that the classier team on the outside with better ball use is going to win. So leaning with the Swans, and geez, yeah, it's hard to go past Heaney. If you're for the Gold Coast Suns, I like the look of Flanders. Hopefully Flanders can continue to score really well for us. Sydney have given up quite a few points to halfbackers. So, yeah, if you don't own Flanders,
get him in.
Bye-bye. And if you don't own Heaney, I'm pretty sure the Gold Coast Suns are pretty good against inside mids. Yeah, they're really restrictive, and they're really good against general forwards and key forwards. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, I know Heaney's in ripper form, but he's coming off the bye. Who knows if that cools him down after his hot start. I'm going to lean with the Suns or the Swans as my selection this week.
Yeah, no, I have gone the Swans as well. Hopefully Heaney does well because we're both Heaney owners.
Yes.
Heading into the last game of the week, and North Melbourne Sunday afternoon specialists, but I don't think we're going to win this game. It's a tough one. North's just not in form, and we need them to be in form. This is one of the few games this year that I think we can win. I know we were talking about it on Fancast how basically at the moment it's cool. Pencil in 3 or 4 wins against teams, and this game really is that. Hawks have played better than us over the 5-week period. And yeah, as a North fan, I'm a little bit worried, Joe.
Look, as long as Shazel doesn't get tagged, as long as you guys are shit at kicking like usual and give the ball to Massimo, and as long as Massimo doesn't turn the ball over with his kicks forward to Biggie, and Biggie can take some intercepts as well, then I'm happy. This is purely a Supercoach game. This is not a game to showcase to international markets. This is purely a Supercoach game. So I'm going to go with the Hawks.
Yeah, that's right.
I think, even though you guys, I don't know. I think you're underselling yourself. I think there's scope for someone like an LDU to bounce back. I think Jai Newcomb hasn't set the world alight in that midfield mix. I think Meek can be countered by Sherry. And then Wardlaw, LDU, Powell, I think can get to work. And I think you might actually win the midfield battle. If you can win that midfield battle and feed the ball to someone like a Nick Larkey on the lead, I think no one can beat him on the lead, and he's a beautiful kick going forward. Their forward line, I don't think, is particularly big. So missing out on a Dawson and a Pink, I don't think is going to be too big of an issue. I've talked myself into tipping you guys this week.
Fair enough. We'll go 1-for-1, and the best man wins, I guess.
Fair enough. But yeah, Sheezel, come on, Sheez, give us a big one. Biggie, give us a big one. Massimo, give me a big one. Come on, boys.
So let's just scroll up to the top, and we'll just quick recap, and then we'll head off for the episode. So first game, Steele. Any of the Dogs players, probably Bont's the best pick because he's not going to be sharing ruck time. Adelaide game, Zach Merritt looks good. Probably wouldn't pick anyone from Adelaide, right?
No.
Potentially from the Collingwood game, we were talking about Zach Butters. Rosie, if you have him, I don't think Warren Francis is really a captain option. If you're feeling spicy, maybe a Nick Dacos. Heading over to the Carlton game, for me, I don't think there's anyone who's really relevant. Similar with the Brisbane Lions versus Geelong game. Potentially Tom Stewart, but Tom Stewart's kind of fallen off a cliff at the moment. Freo West Coast, maybe a Sarong as a vice captain, or Luke Ryan, who seems to be pumping out 145s like no one's business. And then the Sunday games, we've got Heaney, we've got any of your Matt Rao, Tuke Miller, those types as well in there as well. And then, if you've got no good captaincy scores by the end of it, just throw it on Sheezel. I mean, the guy's getting 30. He's leading disposals in the AFL, Joe. Did you know that?
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, very, very happy with those scores at the moment. So, could be a solid captaincy option if you're kind of stuck and you've got no one else.
A floor of 113. That's pretty reliable. And he's
Not
played
bad.
some tough teams. Giants were tough. Freo are tough. Carlton are tough. Brisbane are tough. Geelong are tough. You've had a
Well,
very
that's why
tough
he's getting all
start
the
to the
balls
year.
because they're tough matchups. So the ball's in the back line.
But if you guys win this week, you might not have as much ball.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
If you think North are going to win, don't put it on Sheasel.
Done. All right, guys. Well, that is my team review. That is our captaincy options and our final trades for the week. Hope you have enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you drop us a like if you did, subscription if you're new. Will greatly help the growth of our channel, and hit that notification bell to make sure that you don't miss out on any of our videos and live streams that we pump out on a regular basis. Thursday night, 5:30 p.m. the drive home. So we hope to see you all there tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys, it's going to be a fun episode. Heading into the weekend's games, we can talk some shit about St Kilda and Bulldogs and how nutty Bevo is. So it should be a lot of fun. Been a close week. I think next week's even worse. I think it's a Sunday and then a Wednesday game. So stay tuned for that, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of content coming out in a small period of time.
Yeah, so please, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the likes on our videos to reward us for all of the hard work that we do. Because here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work so that you guys don't have to. See you all in the next one.